Hey guys, welcome back to the channel where I cover missing persons, unsolved cases, crime news, and more. 2 years ago today, little 5-year-old Michael Joseph Vaughan, lovingly called by his family and now Monkey's Army as Monkey, was abducted near his home in Fruitland, Idaho. His dad was ordering a pizza and changing his little baby sister, Buggy. Michael was sitting on the couch playing with his video game. Dad thought he'd be okay for a few minutes. A few minutes later, Tyler Vaughan came downstairs. Michael was no longer on that couch with his video game. In fact, he was not inside that house at all. Somehow, little Michael walked out of his family's home that evening after 6:30 p.m. and began knocking on neighbors' doors. He's a friendly child. He was looking for someone to play with. Multiple neighbors told police that he was asking if anyone could play. One directed him to go back home, which apparently he walked back toward his home. But somewhere between 6:40 p.m. and 7 p.m., someone abducted little Michael Vaughan. In a place that should be safe for a child to play, this little sweet child was taken away from his family. And now for 2 years, his father Tyler, his mother Brandy, and his 3 siblings, as well as the rest of the family, want to know what happened. Where is little Michael Monkey Vaughan? I joined Michael's Army in December of 2021. The channel was new. In fact, Michael Vaughan's video of his little missing face and all these beautiful photos that I look at almost daily, all the way to this moment, all I could think of was, who would want to take such a beautiful child? Then, of course, you think, unfortunately, there's a lot of sickos and horrible, horrible people in the world. 2 years. 2 years. Brandy, Neil, has been a fighter, has been an amazing, strong force for not only advocating to bring her little baby boy home, but she's been there for her other 3 children and for her husband Tyler. She was at work when this all happened, so she had to rush home, and again, it only took minutes for Monkey to, one moment, be there, right in front of their home, down the street, and the next minute, to be swept up by a complete stranger. And at this point, while it seems as though there's not a lot of answers, there are a minimum of 4 suspects in the abduction of little Michael. And it's been a roller coaster for this family And I can't even imagine how they wake up every day and have to think about the fact that this little sweet guy is gone. He's missing. So I'm going to kind of go through more of the timeline here and play some audio clips from Brandy as well as Chief Huff. But today, the biggest thing I want to do with this video is I hope that you will see this sweet boy's face. See the images of sweet little Michael, who's now 7. He's been gone for 2 birthdays and multiple birthdays of his siblings. Christmases, Easters, multiple holidays. His little sister, affectionately known as Buggy, she talks about him daily. This family deserves to know what happened to their son and their brother. One way or another, we will never give up on bringing Michael home.
There's a hole.
July 27th, 2021.
But we keep moving on every day, and we don't give up.
The day the world stopped turning for one Idaho family.
I always write every day what day it is. And it says, be strong, be brave, be fearless. You are never alone.
The day a little sister couldn't play with her big brother.
She picks up his pictures. I leave this one here. She'll walk up and she'll start talking to him. And she'll get sad and she says, I miss Monkey. I miss him too.
A day forever imprinted on the memories of everyone who lives in the family's small, close-knit community of Fruitland, Idaho.
5-year-old Michael Vaughan went missing from this neighborhood behind me.
The search for Michael Vaughan continues.
We just want our monkey home.
Fruitland police say then 5-year-old Michael Vaughan disappeared between 6:40 and 7 p.m. on July 27th, 2021. His family says he was last seen down the road from where they live on Southwest 9th Street in Fruitland, and he spoke to multiple neighbors.
Every minute counts in these investigations when searching for a missing child.
By fall, police said Michael was likely abducted.
I want to hear him say, I love you, Mom. It was the last thing I got to hear. That was the last thing he said to you.
I told him I'd be home to tuck him in.
Multiple agencies, from Fruitland Police and Idaho State Police to Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, scoured the area, searching for Michael on the ground, in the water, from the sky. People from all around the Treasure Valley also helped search for the little blonde-haired, blue-eyed boy, lovingly nicknamed Monkey.
Michael's still missing. He's not home, and we don't have answers. So we keep going.
What do you miss most about him?
His hugs, his jumping on me, his kisses, Mama, we do this. His inquisitiveness about everything. Just wanting to see the whole world. I want to take him to catch more frogs.
With each passing day, Michael's mom, Brandy Neal, holds out hope they can make more memories. She and his dad, Tyler Vaughan, speak to Fruitland Police constantly.
Darn near daily.
And know they're using every resource they can.
Their hearts are broken too.
just weeks after Michael's 6th birthday.
We've received some recent leads that have put us out in the area again, searching more acreage.
Fruitland Police Chief J.D. Huff announced a tip. In a sea of more than 1,000 tips, led them back to the area where Michael disappeared.
Michael's case fell quiet again for a few months until it got very loud on November 11th, 2022. A major break in the case at a home just across the road, just half a mile away from this neighborhood where the Vaughan family lives. Police say they were looking for Michael's possible remains at a home on Red Wing Street so close. Brady says she walked there and knocked on the door early on in her search for Michael.
No one answered when she knocked. Huff said a, quote, very credible tip from someone living in the home led them to believe Michael was buried there. Search and rescue crews used heavy machinery to dig up the backyard of this home on Red Wing Street.
Honestly, I didn't really believe it at first. Like it couldn't have been this close. I literally worn my feet to the bone.
We are all very emotionally tied to this case.
Brandy says police told them to hunker down and to stay away from the excavation.
I sat at the end of the road. I watched the trucks leaving with the dirt. But I promised my family, I promised law enforcement, I promised everybody that I wouldn't go over there. It was like day one again. In the first weeks, months, not being able to drive, not being able to think, not being able to do anything. Pour yourself into a shower.
The next day, after more than a year and a half, police arrested someone they believe was involved in Michael's abduction. Even without finding a body, they charged one of the people living in the home, 35-year-old Sarah Wandra, with failure to report a death. Police, for the first time, saying they believe Michael is dead.
Do you understand the allegation that's been made against you?
I understand what they've said is not correct.
But how could they arrest her without finding a body? Chief Huff could only tell me they had probable cause for prosecutors to charge her beyond just statements made.
You're confident that they have more?
They can't tell us, but I'm confident in them.
The judge sealed the probable cause affidavit and other records, not wanting to jeopardize the high-profile case. The Payette County prosecutor said Wandra was on pretrial release at the time, charged with unlawful possession of a gun by a felon. She lives with her partner Stacy, who's been in the Washington County Jail since May of 2022, accused of the same gun charge.
Never seen them. Never met them. We left flyers in the door.
In December, Sarah was committed to the state psychiatric hospital after she was found mentally unfit to assist in her own defense.
It's disheartening. It's upsetting.
Proceedings are paused until her competency can be restored.
But I understand. I understand the process.
According to Chief Huff, she isn't cooperating.
I want answers. I need answers. But I'd like to sit and have a conversation with her face to face with me.
But you can't yet.
No, not yet. There will be a time.
Crews spent days digging up the Red Wing Street property. They brought human remains detection dogs.
All of them alerting to the presence of human remains. Although the remains of Michael Vaughan were not recovered, we strongly believe, based on evidence, that Michael was abducted and is deceased, and that his remains were buried and later moved from the property.
In that same December news conference, Chief Huff announced they believe 2 more people have first-hand knowledge about Michael's disappearance. He said Brandon Shirtliff and Adrian Lucien lived at or visited the Wandra's home when Michael was abducted.
We also believe that there are others associated with the Wandras, Shirtliff, and Lucien, who may have knowledge of Michael's abduction.
Police believe Lucien is bouncing between Ohio and California. Public records show he has a lengthy criminal record in multiple states. Shirtliff also has a long rap sheet. In fact, court records show he has a warrant out for his arrest in Canyon County for violating probation, which Chief Huff knows about. From CUNA, Shirtliff's mom told us he now lives in North Dakota. Via Facebook Messenger, she also told us in early December investigators and cadaver dogs were at her house for days. He is not running. He has nothing to hide, and we have all been cooperating, his mom wrote. A week after releasing their names, Fruitland police said they made contact with Lucien and Shirtliff. However, they haven't charged the men or issued any arrest warrants. While Huff wouldn't comment on why, he says he's confident arrests will be made in this case.
It's not fair if you have information about Michael and you've watched us for this past 545 days and you haven't said a damn word. And we have to wait and wait and wait and still take care of our family and our lives. Somebody needs to say something, and they need to start talking.
As investigators press on, Chief Huff says they continue working closely with the Payette County prosecutor.
You can't take one of our most precious citizens from us and ever expect us to stop.
I hate these words. But we will bring him home one way or another.
April 14th, 2023. Sarah Wandra appeared in court and a motion was filed to dismiss the charges against her. Now, those charges were dismissed on a motion from the state, which means that the prosecutor who brought the original charges against Sarah was the one who petitioned the court to drop those charges. They were dropped without prejudice, which means they can be refiled and can still move to a trial. So basically, they're trying to make this case stronger. And Sarah is actually still in jail on other charges, as still is her partner, Stacy, on totally unrelated charges to Michael Vaughan's disappearance. I truly believe that Sarah Wandra, Stacy Wandra, Adrian Lucene, and Brandon Shirtliff, as well as 2 or 3 other names I've heard come across, have firsthand knowledge, just like Chief Huff stated. They know exactly what happened to Michael. I believe that completely and fully. I'm going to go over a little bit of some of Sarah's TikToks to show you there's just too many things, especially with her and her husband, partner, Stacy. There's just too many red flags here. There's just too many red flags for it to not have a sign that they have something to do with Little Monkey's disappearance.
So I just want to tell you that, sorry, I'm really tired, and I'm going to tell you I've had no energy lately, much, but God's bigger than your storm or your disease or whatever's going on, so I'm living proof of that because I'm diabetic.
You see that picture behind her? That's why I'm showing this video. There is a flyer that Brandy Neal left at the Wanderer's door of Michael Vaughan on their refrigerator. Sarah and Stacy have made dozens of TikTok videos, Facebook videos, using religion and the Bible. And if they truly believed the things that they were saying, they would tell the truth. They're just another couple hiding behind religion and the Bible. Like Don Wells. I really hate when these criminals, these awful people, hide behind the good book, the Bible, and God. I really hate it. I truly do. Not to mention, Stacy Wandra had at one point had Monkey's photo as his Facebook profile image. Now, why does this man have a photo of Michael Vaughan as his Facebook profile picture? There's no reason for it. None. And the photo, I'm showing you right here on the screen, it's a screenshot of Stacy's Facebook. It's a photo of Brandy that Brandy took of her son. These photos only came out because of Monkey's disappearance. And they came directly from the family through to the police. Why would he have this photo up? And then he also has a photo of the missing poster. When he had posted the photo of Michael as his profile, someone asked him, "Oh, is that you? As a youngster?" He said, "Nah, that's of a little boy who disappeared nearby in my neighborhood." I'm sorry, there's nothing okay about that. I find it completely suspicious. And that's even without the fact that tips led them right to their front door and into their backyard last year. There is nothing okay with that. And here's another photo of the 4 suspects, all persons of interest, in the disappearance of Michael. Discussed a bit of Stacy and Sarah, but there's Brandon and Adrian. Don't know much about Adrian. He's definitely keeping himself scarce. We've heard that Brandon's mama's house has been searched, and she got all excited, like they said in the news clip, that she thought the cadaver dogs helped find a leak from her toilet. Yeah, that's not what they do, honey. That's not what they found. Then you have Brandon spoke with JLR Investigates earlier on in the case, drinking a beer in the hot tub.
Yeah, the people that I used to stay with sometimes on the weekend and drive taxi for or whatever, they're involved in some big shit about. They're saying they know more about the Michael Vaughan case and everything like that. And I heard that they're saying that they actually killed him themselves.
Now, who said that?
I think the detectives told me that that's what Stacy and Sarah said themselves, is that they did it or they were involved in it or they know who did.
Interesting. Do you know any names or these people? Who are they?
One of the people that went to their house before was Tanner Butler. I just looked at my Facebook page now, and his name's Tanner Butler. He was staying there with me and Stacy and Sarah at the time. Like, all 4 of us were roommates.
Yeah. So, yeah, go ahead.
And then I guess the whole thing on how this started was the fact that Sarah, like, kind of threatened him or, like, told him, "Get out of my house and don't come here no more because you were drinking. And I don't want you to be a bad influence on my poor little husband, Stacy, blah, blah, blah."
So yeah. And that was the incident earlier this year, April, around the beginning of April, right? They got arrested?
Correct.
Okay. So going back to the a couple weeks ago when authorities went to the Wanderers house with a warrant for the property to dig up looking for Michael, what brought them there? Like, who said what? Who said what to bring them there? Did the detectives tell you?
I think that they said that the cadaver dogs, they brought dogs over there and it alerted, like on a scent trail or something.
Mm-hmm.
And there was rumors that there was a little tricycle bike over there and a little shirt or something like that.
But why would people spread rumors? Are you thinking they were just trying to pin it on them?
Possibly. Yeah, I think that they were, I don't know.
Now, let's go back to that day Michael went missing, right? So
yeah,
that morning, where were you all at on July 27th, 2021, the day Michael was reported missing? Where were you guys at in the morning?
Okay, so earlier that day, I spent the night there because we came in towing my car from my mom's to their house. And we came back over there, and then right as soon as we were getting the car back to the neighborhood, the whole neighborhood was on high alert looking for the little boy, Michael Vaughan, and they said he went missing right that day earlier, right before we came in with the car we were towing. And then right as soon as that happened, I went out and tried to look for the kid with Sarah. We got in her little Toyota car and drove to the gas station and drove around after we got out of the pickup, and then tried to look in the field to see if he went down by the river or if he could be out just wandering lost. And, you know, that's what hit my mind first. And then from there, it was me and Sarah. We went to the gas station, got some milk, and then did this and that and came back. And then right when we got back, Carson had his pickup next door with a light bar on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, hey, we need to start this up and kind of go look in the neighborhood and the farmer field and the river. We got to go find this missing person report that just came out, you know? So that's what was on my mind right when it happened. But earlier, before that day, before we towed the car, we went to Applebee's. And
what time was that?
That was earlier in the day after we woke up and had breakfast and watched TV and coffee. And then we went, me and Sarah and one of our other friends that was there visiting for like a week or so because he came in from the airport. He wanted to go visit his family over by Nampa area somewhere, by the Karcher Mall.
Who was that?
So that's Adrian.
Is that the Adrian Hernandez?
No, that's a different guy. Adrian Hernandez, I was locked up and incarcerated with him at the Canyon County Jail earlier this year. And he was just there for like some kind of a quarrel or marijuana or just some little petty charge. And he's just there for that. But this Adrian that I'm talking about was a different person.
Who? Like, what's his last name?
I don't know his last name at all. I just know that he was Adrian and he had like kind of an afro. And we went and did kind of a YouTube video that day where we were trying to make music and kind of like a car crash scene.
Mm-hmm.
And we were hanging out with him doing that earlier. And then after that, me, Adrian, and Sarah went to Applebee's where we dropped him off there after me and Sarah got a chicken sandwich and a soda pop over there at the Popeyes restaurant.
Who bought the Applebee's? You or him? Or who paid for it?
Sarah took me to lunch over at Popeyes, and she was going to buy a sandwich for me, Adrian, and her. But he said, my family's here. I want to see him. So I'm going to go to Applebee's and go over here and have dinner with them or lunch with them real quick. And then give me a little bit of time to do that. And then you guys come back and get me.
Yeah.
So we did that. And in the meantime, me and Sarah were bored just kind of driving around the mall. And we didn't know what to do. So I drove back over to my house to get a water bottle and fill it up with water to bring back over to their house because I didn't like their water.
Yeah.
And then during that time, after that, we came back to the mall and we picked up Adrian, me and Sarah, and then all three of us, Sarah, Adrian, and I, we hopped in the car and we went back to the Fruitland house where they do their taxi business.
All right, so where was Stacy during all of this?
He was back at the house.
So you think Stacy stayed home all that day? Stayed home?
We left him there at the house. I don't know if he stayed there the whole time or not, to be honest.
Was anyone else there with him?
I don't think so. I think it was just him home alone at that point. And that was before we went to tow.
And they had dogs and cats there?
Yes, sir. Yeah, they had one hound dog and like 3 or 4 tuxedo cats.
So Stacy's there. You guys go out. What was Adrian doing at the mall?
He was just visiting his girlfriend and his son. And then after that, we went over to Macy's and kind of went in there and shopped around for clothes a little bit. And we were playing on our iPads and just taking pictures, goofing off. And then from there, we go back, and then that's how it goes.
Well, what about the afternoon from the mall to you going back to the neighborhood? Did you guys go anywhere else? Stop anywhere else?
We just went over to a pawn shop, I think, just kind of look around at the pawn shop a little bit. And then I think he bought like an iPad, or he was trying to get a new iPad, I think.
That's Adrian, right?
Right, yes, sir. And then I think he bought one there. We went to the pawn shop, bought an iPad, and then came back, and we were just chilling.
So what car were you guys all in?
We were in that little Toyota, 2016 Toyota Corolla.
Okay, what is that? What color is it? White?
It's the blue one.
A blue. Okay.
Yeah.
And I remember you were telling me that they were towing your car. You told me earlier in another conversation that your car was being towed by their truck that day.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
So where's that come into play here?
So I asked them earlier that day if we could use their pickup to go to my house, my mom's house, and get my Mercedes Benz and tow it back over there so I could work on it if I was going to be hanging out over there doing the taxi business.
Yeah. So when did you guys go over there to get your car?
I think it was around like 6 or 7 at night.
6 or 7. Then you're saying while you're coming back, that's when you noticed everyone searching for Michael?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I remember going to the gas station. We were probably at the gas station filling up like right at 7.
Right at 7. What gas station?
There's the Chevron right there just up from their house.
Yeah. So where you were seeing people out there looking for Michael, or you were seeing police?
I was just seeing police cars cruising around, and I was seeing a lot of like the neighbors going out in their cars cruising around, and just like the whole subdivision from the left side to the right side. They were all just out, everybody walking around and looking, and flashlights. Search and rescue was there, police, everything.
But how did you know they were looking for Michael?
Because so when we were pulling into the subdivision, Sarah was driving the pickup, and she stopped and talked to the neighbor that was coming down the road the opposite way.
Mm-hmm.
And she stopped right there in the middle of the road, and they both opened their doors and they started talking to each other right there.
Okay. And you told me you never seen Michael Vaughan before in your life prior.
Right. I never met him or his parents ever before. I just know that they're neighbors of where I was staying over there with the Wanderers. They live like diagonal.
Yeah. What about the okay. Yeah, I got so many questions. All right. So Adrian, where's he from?
I think he's from California somewhere.
So, but how did he get up there? Like, how did he end up there in Idaho?
He just flew in from California to come see his son and his old girlfriend or whatever.
But where did Sarah meet him? Like, how does she know him?
I don't know. I think he just randomly like called their phone one day from the airport and said, "Can you give me a ride from here to there or whatever?" And that's probably how those two met.
Yeah, because, obviously, Sarah, according to this arrest affidavit, she's claiming that this Adrian guy helped bury Michael in her yard. That's what she said, according to the arrest affidavits, or the neighbors. She also said the neighbor's yard, too.
Right.
So people are wondering, who's Adrian?
Yeah, he's just some kid that came here from California for a little bit to visit his son and his old girlfriend.
Did he get arrested at all?
No, he didn't get arrested or talked to or nothing.
So how long was he there at their house for?
He was only there for like a week up to 2 weeks, tops.
After Michael went missing?
After Michael went missing, I'm pretty sure he was there for like a couple days after that as well.
Okay, so he was there about a week and a half prior to Michael being missing. Then Michael went missing, and then a couple days later, he goes back to California.
I think so, yeah.
So is it possible? Okay, so you're with Sarah and you're with Adrian out, or getting your car and bringing it back. Is it possible Stacy was home left alone and did something and maybe like went out and snatched Michael? I mean, how do you do you guys know about Stacy's whereabouts at the time?
I personally don't. So I'm saying that could be a possibility.
Because there was no one else there with him, correct?
Right. Yeah. Yes, sir.
But you're saying that you were with Sarah all that day. You and Adrian and Sarah were all together throughout that whole day, starting in the morning. And you didn't she didn't go off on her own or do anything?
No, I was with Sarah that whole day and Adrian. And then Stacy was left home alone.
Stacy was left home alone. What there when you guys were out, what cars were there with Stacy?
I think he had his little Cadillac Escalade that he cruised around at that time.
What color was that?
It was a white one, an older one that he traded his pickup in for. That when that pickup started to have a couple issues, instead of getting it fixed, he just traded it in.
Yeah. See, because he's left alone and no one else is there with him. I wonder if he ventured out. Yeah. Okay. For instance, when you guys got back, was he in the house?
Yeah, he was in there. He was in there on the couch, I'm pretty sure.
What was he doing?
Just watching TV. Like
he never even went anywhere.
Right.
Yeah, because, he's left alone. It seems like you three have you guys are each other's alibis, I guess, and you're saying you did whatever throughout the day. And I appreciate you talking to me. I mean, somebody that would be guilty wouldn't be telling all this in a sense, but, people just want answers.
Yeah, and I want answers too. I don't think Adrian did it, and I don't think Sarah did it. But Stacy, I know that sometimes he's lied to me and he's lied to others, and he says he'll do something and then he really don't do it. I him about that, and I was trying to teach him that you're not supposed to do that in life, and then he'll get sometimes mad at me, So that's where my trail kind of ends, and that's where I'm kind of curious in my own head.
With Stacy.
With Stacy, I'd like to talk to him personally, and if he was here right now, I'd be talking with him and say, hey, I know you and me didn't. I know that you broke my watch and, you thought I wanted to steal your girl or this or that, but that was all accusations. It's not true. I was just there to help you guys work, make a business, and pay the bills. That was my whole objective.
So it's interesting. So because he's left alone, you guys are out. Michael Vaughan goes missing around, we'll say 7 p.m. And, what happened? Where was Starkey? Where was Carson Starkey?
I think he was driving for another company at that time because he was mad at Sarah and Stacy because they were kind of trying to give him a little bit of bluff or a little bit of grief, and he was like, you know what, I can go work somewhere else or be part of somebody else. I don't have to sit here and take your guys' nonsense.
So, interesting. What about the Cesar Garudo? What's the deal with him? Is he involved? Could he be involved? Was he around their house?
I know that he went to their house like one time. Other than that, me and Stacy went to his house one time, and he had a couple other friends over there, and they were just kind of hanging out and chilling with a couple other people.
But Cesar was not around the house the time Michael went missing.
As best as I know, yeah, that's true.
Interesting. So you never seen Michael. Have you ever hear Sarah or Stacy talk about the bonds or mention the bonds or say anything?
Never once. Not even. The only time I heard them ever mention the Vaughns is when they stopped the car that day and they said, hey, there's somebody that's missing in the neighborhood. His name's Michael Vaughan. Do you guys know him or know where he went? That was the first time that came up to my attention. And then as far as I know, they both said, no, we don't know where he's at. Let's go help look for him. From that point.
Interesting. Yeah. Man, I'm so scatterbrained here because it's just a mystery. It's a mystery.
It is. That's all it is right now at this point, yeah.
Well, it's not necessarily that much of a mystery, Brandon, because I think you, Adrian, Stacy, Sarah, and potentially Caesar, and maybe this guy Tanner, makes me wonder which one of you, or how many of you, were involved in the abduction of little Michael Vaughan. And on Thursday, which is today, as you watch this video, 2 years ago, that little monkey disappeared. was taken. There'll be a statement put out by Fruitland PD. Chief Huff spoke with some of the media yesterday. The Argus Observer put out an update stating, and I quote from Chief Huff, "I plan on putting a very brief Facebook update on Thursday. This case has been forwarded to the prosecutor. I am not going to participate in interviews as instructed by the prosecutor," Huff said in an email on Monday. "It's always a challenge trying to keep the community informed while maintaining the integrity of our case. I will always choose the latter, as justice for Michael and his family is my top priority." Chief Huff instructed the Argus Observer to, quote, "look for that update on Thursday," and then he declined to send any further information to the Argus Observer or any other media publication. So at this point, we are pending that update from Chief Huff, and as soon as that is posted on their Facebook page, I will be posting something on my community tab here on the channel as well as the Facebook group. But for now, we need to continue to share this beautiful boy's face today, share his poster. I'm going to post the information in the video description for the phone numbers and websites and anything else that folks might need to call in any tips, and you can remain anonymous. Please do call if you have any information. It is very, very important that you do that. And with that said, I'm going to close out the video with a bit of beautiful Michael.
Who is that? Who is that? What are you doing with your... You are silly. Silly.
But there's also a pretty loud segment that support these types of uses of economic development.
He's gonna fall off.
It's the right size. Okay, listen, Mama, don't touch nothing else with that hand. You can only touch with this hand, okay?
Okay. Can you touch one?
Touch the pan. Can you feel how hot that is? Stay back in the stove.
It doesn't feel hot.
Yeah, but it'll get hot. Pick it up. Okay, stay back, stay back.
Real homemade cookies. We made real homemade
cookies.
Can you touch them?
Don't touch with the other hand.
Aww. If I could grab one.
Not with that. You gotta let them rest.
Aww, I gotta let the cookies rest?
Yeah, because it's hot.
Okay. I'm gonna put 2 of those on, so...
Okay.
Can you put 2 of those
Put your glove on.
Okay.
Got your glove? You want me to carry it and we'll put them on the cooling pan?
Yeah, cooling pan. What's a cooling pan?
Or the cooling rack? Yeah, get down. Okay.
Now go.
Got your glove?
Yep.
Okay.
Can you taste that?
No, don't touch the cookies. We touch the pan.
Oh.
With our glove on. Don't touch anything else. Don't. No. There you go. All right. Look at you. Okay, we'll set it up here. Okay. We'll take our glove off and let that cool for a few minutes, okay?
No, I gotta keep my glove on so I can grab the homemade cookies. Okay?
Okay.
I need the other one on too.
You have 2 gloves? You ta-da-da. Look, I made real cookies.